Morning, all. All right, so starting things off today, at least starting things off for me, after a very short night's sleep. Nowhere near the amount of sleep I needed, so we'll see how the next few days go. But yeah, starting off today with a news video for all you fine people on the internet. Starting off with a fine, and this is again a fine that's not a lot of money, like it's 2,100 or something like that. Adam Erne fined for an elbow on Belmar. Now I'm not saying that it's not $2,100 you'll miss, but it's a payable fine. If you, if sure, Adam Erne would be like, that's all right. 2,000 to punch or elbow him in the head, sure, whatever. So at any rate, for people who thought it should have been a suspension, they're not going to be happy. For people who thought I don't even know what the fine was for, they're not going to be happy. Again, I'm not sure that I understand the point. Sometimes I get that it's kind of like slap on the wrist and don't you do it again. But anyways, New Jersey news, and of course, if I'm wearing your gear, your favorite team's gear, if I'm not wearing your gear, that'd be weird. Be like, why is he wearing my jersey? It's gone out of my collection. That's weird. But yeah, so whenever I'm wearing a jersey of a team for a news video, it's not necessarily great news, and in this case, it's not either. Timo Meyer's a game time decision. He was not at practice this morning for the New Jersey Devils. Jack Hughes is considered close to a return, but he's not ready yet, so he will not be in the lineup tonight. And I had to throw this into the news video because I think this is a great promotion. The New Jersey Devils right now are saying if you purchase Devils tickets online, you get socks, meaning socks that have the word sock on them. And of course this echoes the hat, the jersey, which is of course their third jersey. And I look forward to people completely becoming a non-playable character or a placeholder where all of their clothing from head to toe is black and it's just labeled as to what it's supposed to be. So you have pants, socks, jersey, hat. I think it's great. I'm glad they lean into this, that they realize, yeah, that's probably not the greatest, but we'll lean into it and we'll make more money this way. So good on them. But yeah, so it's a shame. I don't think I'm even eligible, but I mean, why would I buy Devils tickets? I'm not going to a Devils game. I'm pretty sure though I'm not eligible. There was an eligibility thing on there, so I'm not paying for a Devils ticket just to get socks. No, I'm not. Was I tempted? Maybe on some level. Sure, maybe a little bit. Curious? Why not? But no, I won't be. But I think it sounds great. I honestly think it sounds really funny. And of course, shoes. You need shoes, right? Who doesn't want shoes? But anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts. I'm fine with the ridiculousness. I think life's ridiculous enough right now. Why not lean into it? So for the Vancouver Canucks right now, speaking of ridiculousness, I guess that's a good segue. JT Miller, Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, all tied for the lead in points in the National Hockey League with 26. It is a bizarre time to be a Canucks fan. It is weird. And watching them last night, yeah, when they get that puck and they're cycling it, it's magic. The kind of passing they're putting together right now is very reminiscent of when 3-on-3 overtime first came out and teams weren't just ragging the puck and going backwards with it and setting up and waiting, which happens a lot in overtime now. But at the start when it was like just this exciting, wide open, you still have overtimes that are like that, but not like it was when it started out. The old 3-on-3, and that's what it looks like with Vancouver when they get things going. It's fantastic, and for Quinn Hughes, remarkable run for him. So they all have 26 points. But keep in mind that Brock Besser is tied for ninth in the National Hockey League with 21. So there are four guys currently playing for the Vancouver Canucks who are on a 100-point pace. I don't expect them all to get 100 points, but it is fun. I'm just enjoying it. It's like last year with the Boston Bruins, or I guess this year with the Bruins as well. Just enjoying the ride for as long as it lasts. Enjoying the wins and just, see how far it goes. But yeah, all of the Canucks right now are playing well. They seem quite happy. I did have a discussion with my friend who shall not be named yesterday. And yeah, we were talking about how much fun it is to watch the Canucks right now, how much fun it is that they all seem to be happy and enjoying each other's company, and there doesn't seem to be all the fighting and animosity that we've seen in previous seasons. And it's kind of great right now to cheer for the Canucks. So, yeah, that's kind of a fun story. All right, so Taylor Hall, the latest return for Taylor Hall is close. It's not here yet. He's a morning skate for the Hawks. He's not ready to return though. So at morning skate, he's getting close. I would think after he returned too quickly in a previous returned from injury. They'll probably be careful with him because players, hockey players, will say I'm good to go when maybe they're not necessarily. It's the way hockey players are built. If you're and again, I'm going to refer back to Shorzy when they were talking about the difference between hurt and injured, and I was like, that's hockey player talk right there. Yeah, I'm hurt, but I can play. I'm injured, I can't play. Right? And so for some of these guys, they're like, well, I'm hurt. Yeah, I mean, I'm hurting. It sucks right now, but I can play. And that's kind of the whole hockey player way of doing things. Nikita Zaitsev has been moved to the non-roster reserve for personal reasons. I did look around. I don't see any disclosure as of yet as to what's going on with Zaitsev. Hopefully everything's okay. As always, there are things more important than hockey. Hopefully everything's okay in his personal life. And so the Chicago Blackhawks were a little thin on the blue line, have recalled Roos. Roos has been called up for them. Roos has been a fill-in before, depth defenseman. So, again, for the Hawks, hopefully Zaitsev's okay. Hopefully it's nothing, too upsetting that's going. Usually when they leave for personal reasons, it can be for upsetting reasons. It can also be somebody expecting a baby, that kind of thing. So hopefully it's good news rather than not, but at this point we don't know. So Patrick Kane speculation's gotten ridiculous, and I'm not reporting on who's in and who's not. Kane started meeting with teams. John Shannon reported he was meeting with the Leafs. Now John Shannon's tweeting out that he didn't meet with the Leafs. I think it's just there's so much out there. There's so many guys telling so much information to so many different reporters that trying to figure out where Kane is or isn't going. It's like I saw an article yesterday. Patrick Kane's not going to the Rangers. Rangers are not in on Kane. Today, maybe the Rangers are still in on Kane. I do worry that at this point, Patrick Kane, the expectations for where he signs are going to be too high. Patrick Kane now is not the same Patrick Kane he was 5 years ago. Not the same Patrick Kane he was 10 years ago. What you're getting now is more of a support secondary player. He is not the primary driving offense kind of guy. And so this is going to be interesting to see A, where he ends up, B, what the cap hit looks like, considering how many teams are capped out right now. Whether or not a team that signs him then has to make a corresponding move to make the salary cap money work, and then see what his production looks like and how that's received. Again, I get this feeling that he could be underwhelming on a new team, because if he does sign and if there's a lot of, hype around him, and he's a 3-time cup winner, and he's one of the all-time greats, one of the best, if not the best US born player ever, I do worry that he just won't live up to expectations. So we'll see where he ends up. Let me know your thoughts. All thoughts are valid. I do wonder if the idea of him going to Buffalo, which seemed to make some sense, I wonder if Buffalo's current record would mean maybe he's not as amped on the idea or hyped on the idea that he would go to Buffalo. So, and again, that may have been pure speculation too. I know there's been a lot of time over the last couple of months I've seen, Kane's whittled his teams down. No, he hasn't. He just said a couple days ago he was waiting until he was ready to go before he'd start talking to teams. Now he's actually talking to teams and meeting with teams. I don't know what those guys were talking about. But at any rate, there we are. The speculation picks up every day. I'm not getting into who he has or hasn't met with, because I don't know that it necessarily matters at this point. Just let me know. Let me know when he's signed somewhere. But if he goes to Toronto, it'll be a disaster, is my prediction. Because again, the expectations are going to be too high, and it's going to be, look at this 3-time cup winner. Here we go. So I don't see that being a good fit. And again, Toronto, they've already got some issues there, and I don't think adding Kane would fix it. But we'll see where he goes. So I wanted to end this on kind of an interesting note out of today's game between Detroit and Ottawa that's about to start in about an hour's time here. Daniel Alfredsson will join the coaching staff behind the bench. So we made sure they were cool with it. They're like, yeah, sure, join us behind the bench. Daniel Alfredsson's return to the Ottawa Senators organization and being a public face for the management team as well is great. Michael Andlauer, I think, has done a very good job already of at least the public face of the team and management. It looks a lot better than it did before he took over. So I think Alfredsson joining the coaching staff behind the bench is great. I also think that while Staios is in the position as interim general manager, maybe he ends up being the permanent general manager. But Alfredson clearly has the chops for management, and I'll be interested to see how far up he gets in the organization. At some point, I would think Alfredson ends up being a general manager himself. Notice him saying a general manager, not the general manager, meaning maybe he does a good enough job in Ottawa that he maybe gets poached somewhere else. Because again, you can only go so far, and then maybe get poached, sort of like Edmonton did with their coach. They get out of Hartford because he wasn't going to move up in the Rangers organization. So why not give him a chance to go somewhere else? So we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, or just because you feel like it. And hey, thank you guys so much for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.